being number one on the App Store is no small feat by any means, and we're always like chasing this North Star of mass adoption here in the Web3 space. Like, what was that time at your company like when you guys were? Was that a big thing for you guys, or you guys just like, oh, this is on the roadmap? We were always, going to be this successful.
It was huge. I mean, I think at that time there were fewer players in the mobile space because there'd been this big platform shift, which a lot of us see as analogous to what's happening right now, and that's why we wanted to be part of what's being built in the metaverse and being built in the Web3 community. But at that period, I don't know if you remember, like in the early days of mobile, a lot of gamers and a lot of game publishers were like, "Oh, that's not where serious games are being made. Nobody's making really good games on mobile," and that turned out not to be true. I think at that point, it was like, okay, what percentage of gamers are mobile gamers? And it was a low percentage. Now, every gamer you talk to has played a lot of a mobile game, right? Um, so it was an exciting time. It did feel like we were building towards a new frontier in gaming.
I'm just jumping around a tad here. Solana came out with the Solana phone
Oh
concept,
yeah.
which I really haven't, done my research on. Again, I'm familiar with Solana. We're, investors in Star Atlas, and can't wait for that game. I think Solana is going to do a lot of cool things. Aurora is another one I want to give a shout out to. But what does the Solana phone mean for your company? Or do you guys have plans to utilize that by any means?
Yeah, so Rob, my other co-founder, is especially connected with Solana. He's been an entrepreneur in residence there. They invested in our company, but just on a personal level, I think what the Solana phone does is that it helps to push forward Web3 and mobile gaming, and gives a platform through which we can build games that utilize mobile and utilize Web3. Because as you've seen, some of the major players, there are only a couple in the mobile app store space, have not been quick to adopt Web3. And so I think Solana is really creating that opportunity to start testing use cases, which we'll then be able to take sort of across the platform spectrum in
just
mobile.
just having your experience as like a traditional game developer, not building in the Web3 space, and then coming now into the Web3 space, which I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job of kind of like building out the narrative that you are, at your core, having these features that anybody who's in this space wants to see. Is there any difference between mobile and, I guess, desktop web browser game studios? Like you mentioned what the mobile studios kind of being slow on this. Well, the desktop browser games, PC games have been slow as well. Are there any differences, like just from your experience there, between how a studio that's developing PC as opposed to mobile would look at Web3?
I think the big difference right now is that mobile studios don't really have an avenue until the Solana Saga phone comes out. There's not an opportunity to build a Web3 game on the Apple App Store or on Google Play at the moment, based on the policies that they have out there. I think that's going to change. I know that they have folks who are working on that as we speak, that and are advocating internally, but these are big companies with, a lot of stakeholders in making those kind of decisions. And then the PC gaming community, I think that what they're looking for is, and there will be plenty of examples of this because we're not the only game developers in the Web3 space who have experience. There are a lot of great companies that are coming to the market now and are building stuff. They're waiting to see proof points of what does a good Web3 game look like that's fun to play and that has legs that can last for years. And I think we're just starting to get to that sort of next phase that you were alluding to.